Hi, welcome to another edition of Aston1936.com. In this video I'm going to show you how to reinstall the positive crankcase ventilation system vacuum harness assembly, also known as the Octopus. Avid followers of my blog will know that when I did the work in my car, I actually didn't have an opportunity to video it. Well, I was really pleasantly surprised when another follower of the blog, Mr. Mike Potts, actually shot video while he was following the blog and doing the work on his car. Here's a picture of Mike with his 2006 Aston Martin DB9 in silver. He calls it Aston 2209. Well, without further ado, here is guest presenter Mike Potts installing the positive crankcase ventilation system vacuum harness assembly.
Right, I've now managed to fit the two valves, one there, and I've glued them with a high temperature resistant adhesive suitable for plastics and rubber, and for good measure a couple of Jubilee clips as well. Got to say, the ones I took out seem perfectly fine. I think the same as Steve found with his. And they're actually a spring-loaded valve, so I'm not exactly sure just how the valve works, other than I can blow in and out of it from both ends, as I can with the new ones and I could with the old ones. So I'm going to do a bit more investigation into that, but for now the new valves are in. But the valve that is important, and that I found inside this main pipe, which is right here, and that is the definite non-return valve, which is exactly what is required to make sure that the closed circuit breathing system doesn't, by whatever means, back pressure the crankcase and start blowing oil seals. So just to prove it's working and not worrying too much about any carcinogens for a couple of breaths, I'll just show you, and you might be able to hear it. So I can suck it up, but I can't blow down. Sucking up, blowing down. No, I can't blow back down. So at least we can assume that the non-return valve that's located about here, secured in I think with this clip here, which just, you can feel that there's a plastic something there and there's another plastic something there, whether one is just a joint and that's the actual valve here or what, it's difficult to tell. I'll have to look at the manual, but it's working. So now to put it all back together. Right, decided I might as well film it if I'm going to do it. So I'm going to try and attempt the replacement following the procedure that I took it out with. So here we go. I'm going to try and do it without knocking the camera over as well, like I did last time. So first of all, for sure, this can go in here. I think that one needed to be over there if I remember. And get that down behind the head where it came from. Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, then I had to pass it through the cable that I cut the tie off on this fuel rail. So now just get the injectors out of the way so we don't damage the electrical contacts to the injectors. So this time we've got to come up here. So there we go. And it's got to go down past the back of the injector as it goes. What's going on? Yeah, I've got to bring this injector to this side. Boy. And that goes underneath the injector, like so. Right. Now, what I've actually got to do is be careful here, because this has to go over the top of that injector rail. That side, get that over, and that's in the right place. Just want to be careful here. That has to go over the back of there. And that. As they say, is that. So let's just have another look. This one is in. That's where the tie wrap would go onto the rail. I think I'm probably going to leave it off, actually. Just taking my time to make sure everything looks okay. You'll notice what I've done actually is, and whether it would ever help me I don't know, but I've arranged that the Jubilee clip, that the screws and the one down there are actually able to get at them when from here, because the clip, to put them round the back would be a bit of a nightmare, which is exactly what Aston Martin did for the one where I struggled yesterday. So that, I believe, is just about in the right place. That is about right to go onto the oil separator, which is here. Everything looks okay. Let's bring those electrical contacts back around here. Be very careful not to get them damaged. This other rail is here. It's fallen naturally into the position where it goes. It's got a bit of a heat shield there. I guess it's some sort of heat shield. So that looks okay. Just bring this rail back in. Let's see if that seems to fit. Yeah, that looks like it'll sit in there okay. Nicely. But we'll leave it out there for now. So, one issue that I'm a little bit concerned about is that this pipe now, there's evidence of oil, even since I've wiped it clean. So because I don't want any chance of it leaking, and one of the problems with sealant is that it wants an oil-free surface, which I ain't going to get. I'm going to put a Jubilee clip on that as well, because the last thing we need is any trace of oil dropping onto the top of the block. Whilst it might burn off easily, I would imagine, or just give a few fumes, but the last thing I would want to risk is any chance of a fire, because even though if the hose is possibly flame retardant, the chances are there's plenty of other stuff under here that could burn. So I don't want any flames or anything, so I'm going to be ultra cautious, I think, and I'm going to put a clip on there. So I'll push on and put a clip on there, and then just show you putting the other bit of the pipe onto the stainless steel Y branch on this other side of this cam cover casing. So come back to you in a minute. Right, done the middle, I'll show you that in a minute, but I'm just set up to do this little bit here now where it's come through here. Plenty of slack to play with. First of all, we'll take off the clip that I wrestled with. There she is. You can see I had a real good go at it before I decided to think again. And there you can see the edge that I managed to just prise out. You can see how it's curved it back, and it snaps it out of this little tab here. So that's how it came off. Not a pretty sight. Anyway, moving on. I've got a decent Jubilee clip here. It's actually been used before, but still looks like it'll do the business. Not worried about using one of these twice. Now, what I want to do is make sure I can get on it to tighten it up. Fortunately, I didn't chew up the hose too much. So if we just get the hose on, there we go. That slips on pretty easy. I'll just get an extension. I have a 7mm driver. To which I'm going to add a long extension. A 7mm ratchet. I'm trying to do this without obscuring the camera, but unfortunately in the UK we drive on the opposite side to you guys, which means that the servo is on the right hand side, and it's a bit in the way at the moment for me getting my hand in, but we'll get round it. We usually do. Might have to reposition the camera. I'll just switch off and come back to it when I've done it. It's not rocket science here. I think it's going to be easier to switch off and come back when it's done. Okay, here we are. Jubilee clip's now on. You'll notice it looks to be pushed a little bit with the tail, the excess threaded section. I've just bent it down a little bit because it's up against the... do it a little bit more, I think. There, so it's not actually touching. There we go. So that's that one complete. We've gone over the top behind that hose you can see there. You can just make it out coming through here. This is where that valve is, the non-return valve, which we've checked. And then the hose bends down here, down the other side to the non-return valves, the PCV valve, sorry. So let's just see the rest. Okay, there's the Jubilee clip. Just move that. There's the Jubilee clip that I put on the oil separator. There's the rest of everything. I've got some oil resistant tie wraps which I shall use in there, and I will tie the fuel rail to the same tab that they used in Aston, so kindly put it on. So that was fairly painless in the end. Bit of a chore getting it out, but putting it back was exactly the repeat of how I got it out, so in reverse. So there we go, not too bad a job.
Well, thanks Mike, that was great. Thanks for shooting that video. So now that we have our Octopus reinstalled in the car, you can actually get on with putting the rest of your car together. If you check out this video here, it's going to show you how to prepare your intake manifolds to reinstall, which is the next part of the process of putting it all back together. If you actually enjoyed this video, you might want to consider subscribing to the channel, and every time I put something new out, you'll get a message about it. And if you have something to say, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. So thanks very much for watching.